Meanwhile, protesters gathered on Virginia Street this afternoon opposing a government they say isn't working and expressing frustration over closed national monuments that are supposed to be symbols of freedom. Robb Archie's son fought in Iraq and his uncles fought in World War II. He says this isn't what he expected out of our government.
And I look at all this and it's not the world I thought that we would be leaving to our kids, a country of bickering and a country of infighting.
There's no sign of a potential deal yet in Congress to reopen the government or increase the debt ceiling. But during a special session in the Senate today, Majority Leader Harry Reid said he's hopeful both sides can hammer out an agreement.
Here at Poning Veterans Memorial Park in downtown Reno, protesters are joining others from across the country in a call to action. They say veterans are being used as pawns in the government shutdown and they want it to stop.
It's a disgrace. It's absolutely horrible.
Protesters lined Virginia Street to oppose the government shutdown and support veterans.
We're paying these people to do a job, and they're not doing a job very well.
And they say it's ridiculous that national monuments are closed.
They're doing that to punish the American people. The American people should be very angry that they're doing this. They're treating us like children.
News 4 went along on the most recent Northern Nevada honor flight to D.C. earlier this month, and despite the shutdown, the veterans made all their usual stops.
They got to see their memorials. The Rangers were there, courteous, professional, in uniform, even though they're not getting paid, and they opened the gates for us. There really wasn't any stoppage.
Honor Flight Nevada founder John Yuspa can't count how many of these trips he's been on, and he says the only difference this time was fewer tourists.
The positive, it was very surreal. I mean, these men and women got to experience their memorial privately.
But the protesters are painting a different picture.
I don't think they're letting them all in. I think they let them in for show whenever you guys show up with the cameras, and then when you guys leave, they close them back again. That's what we're hearing.
And the closed monuments are a symbol of a government they say isn't working.
It's not the people's business that they're conducting there. It's vendettas and arguments and fights. It's high school all over again.
We need to get the government back to work.
In the meantime, they say Americans, especially veterans, shouldn't be denied access to these symbols of freedom.
And you're telling me that you have to close the parks down and take away these monuments from the people? There's no 17% elsewhere that they can't cut?
They say they not only want to see the monuments reopen now, but they'd like to see legislation introduced that would prevent them from closing in any future shutdowns. Reporting from Reno, Ashley Collins, News 4.
And back here in our area, more than a dozen people showing their support for protesters in Washington, D.C.
Civil liberties.
Members from the local chapter of the Veterans of Foreign Wars gathering at Pounding Park in downtown Reno this afternoon. They claim the government is too big. In addition, they say Affordable Care Law, or Obamacare, is too overreaching. And they think the move to close the national monuments is unfair.
We're unhappy with what this government's doing, and we're not just going to be unhappy anymore. We're going to do everything we can to either change their minds or remove them from office, whatever it takes. Whatever it takes.
This protest lasted only a couple of hours, but participants say they just wanted to get their message out and inform others.